After losing both legs in an accident, she thought her dancing career was over. Steve Harvey helped her discover it was just beginning and proved that the human spirit can triumph over any physical limitation when passion meets determination. It was September 2021, and 23-year-old Maya Rodriguez sat in her hospital bed, staring at the space where her legs used to be. 6 weeks earlier, she had been one of the most promising young dancers in Los Angeles, training for her dream of joining a professional dance company. Now, after a devastating car accident that had crushed both of her legs beyond repair, doctors were telling her to adjust her expectations and find a new passion. Maya had been dancing since she was 3 years old. Growing up in a working-class family in East LA, dance had been her escape, her joy, and her identity. Her mother, Elena, had worked double shifts at a factory to pay for Maya's dance lessons, and Maya had repaid that sacrifice by earning a full scholarship to the prestigious Millennium Dance Complex. By age 23, Maya was on the verge of achieving everything she had worked for. She had auditioned for 3 major dance companies and was waiting to hear back from her top choice when the accident happened. She had been driving home from a late-night rehearsal when a drunk driver ran a red light and slammed into her car at 60 miles per hour. Maya survived, but her legs did not. Both legs were amputated below the knee, and with them went what Maya believed was her entire reason for existing. "Not Maya the dancer anymore," she told her mother through tears during her 3rd week in the hospital. "I don't know who I am if I can't dance." "Mija, you are so much more than just your legs," Elena replied, but Maya couldn't hear her mother's words through her grief. For months, after leaving the hospital, Maya fell into a deep depression. She refused physical therapy, wouldn't learn to use her prosthetics, and spent most of her time in bed watching videos of herself dancing before the accident. Friends from the dance community reached out, but Maya pushed them all away. "They pity me now," Maya told Elena. "They look at me and see what I've lost, not what I still have." Elena watched her vibrant, passionate daughter disappear into darkness and didn't know how to bring her back. Maya had always been the strong one in their family, the one with big dreams and the determination to achieve them. Seeing her give up was breaking Elena's heart. The turning point came 8 months after the accident, when Maya's physical therapist, Dr. Sarah Chen, showed her a video of a professional dancer who performed in a wheelchair. "Maya," Dr. Chen said, "I want you to see something." "I don't want to see inspirational disabled people videos," Maya said bitterly. "This isn't inspiration porn. This is art." The video showed a contemporary dancer named Alex, who had been paralyzed from the waist down, but had developed an entirely new form of dance that incorporated his wheelchair. His movements were fluid, powerful, and undeniably beautiful. For the first time in months, Maya felt something stir inside her chest. Not quite hope, but curiosity. "How?" Maya whispered. "He didn't try to dance the way he used to dance," Dr. Chen explained. "He created a new way to dance that worked with his body as it is now, not as it used to be." That night, Maya sat in her wheelchair in front of her bedroom mirror for the first time since coming home from the hospital. She moved her arms experimentally, remembering the feeling of expressing emotion through movement. It wasn't the same as dancing with her legs, but it was something. Over the next few weeks, Maya began experimenting with movement in her wheelchair. At first, it felt wrong and limited. She was trying to recreate her old dances, and the result was frustrating and painful. But gradually, Maya began to understand what Dr. Chen had meant. Instead of trying to dance like she used to, she needed to discover what her body could do now. Maya started working with her prosthetics, not to walk normally, but to see how they might become part of her artistic expression. She experimented with different movements, incorporating her wheelchair as a partner rather than a limitation. 6 months of private experimentation led to a breakthrough moment when Maya finally recorded herself dancing for the first time since the accident. The 3-minute video showed Maya performing an original contemporary piece that seamlessly flowed between her wheelchair and her prosthetics, telling the story of loss, acceptance, and rebirth. Maya posted the video on her social media with a simple caption, "New body, new dance, same soul." The video went viral overnight, receiving millions of views and thousands of comments from people around the world who were moved by Maya's artistry and resilience. Among those who saw the video was a producer from the Steve Harvey show, who immediately recognized that Maya's story needed a bigger platform. 2 weeks later, Maya received a call that would change her life again. "Maya, this is Janet Miller from the Steve Harvey show. We saw your dancing video, and Mr. Harvey would love to have you on the show." Maya was hesitant. "I'm not ready to be a poster child for overcoming disability." "Mr. Harvey doesn't want you to be a poster child. He wants to celebrate you as an artist." Maya agreed to appear on the show, but only if she could perform. She wanted people to see her as a dancer first, not as a person with a disability who happened to dance. When Maya arrived at the Steve Harvey show, she was nervous but determined. She had choreographed a special piece for the show that told her complete story, a life before the accident, the trauma and loss, and her rebirth as a new kind of artist. Steve met with Maya before the taping and was immediately struck by her strength and artistry. "Maya," Steve said, "I want you to know that what you've created is not inspirational, it's revolutionary." "What do you mean?" "You haven't just overcome your disability, you've transformed it into art. You've shown the world that limitations are often just invitations to innovate." During the interview, Maya talked about her journey with honesty and grace. She didn't minimize the difficulty of losing her legs or pretend that positive thinking had magically made everything better. "Maya," Steve said, "what do you want people to understand about disability and dreams?" "I want them to understand that my accident didn't end my dancing career. It evolved it. I'm not the same dancer I was before, but I'm not less than I was before. I'm different, and different can be beautiful." "What was the hardest part of your journey?" "Learning to stop mourning who I used to be and start celebrating who I was becoming. I spent months trying to get my old life back instead of building a new life." When it came time for Maya's performance, the studio fell silent. Maya took the stage in her wheelchair, wearing a flowing white dress, and began to move. For the next 4 minutes, Maya told her story through dance. She began seated, her movements restricted and mournful, representing her life immediately after the accident. Gradually, her movements became more expansive and confident as she incorporated her prosthetics and used her wheelchair as a dance partner. The performance culminated with Maya rising onto her prosthetics and dancing in a way that was entirely her own, not trying to replicate able-bodied dance, but creating something completely new and breathtakingly beautiful. When Maya finished, the audience gave her a standing ovation that lasted nearly 5 minutes. Steve was crying, the crew was crying, and Maya herself was overwhelmed by the response. "Maya," Steve said, when the applause finally died down, "that wasn't just dancing, that was poetry in motion. That was art at its highest level." But Steve wasn't done with surprises. "Maya, I want to tell you about some people who saw your viral video and were as moved as we all are tonight." Maya looked curious. "The Alvin Ailey American Dance Theatre has been following your work, and they want to offer you something unprecedented, the opportunity to work with their choreographers to develop an adaptive dance program. Maya gasped. Alvin Ailey was one of the most prestigious dance companies in the world. But that's not all, Steve continued. Netflix wants to document your journey and the creation of this new adaptive dance program. They want to show the world what you've shown us tonight. That art has no limitations. Maya was crying now. Are you serious? I'm serious. Maya, you thought your dancing career was over, but what we've seen tonight proves it was just beginning. 6 months later, Maya returned to the Steve Harvey show for a follow-up that amazed everyone. She had been working with Alvin Ailey to develop their adaptive dance program and had performed at Lincoln Center to a sold-out audience. Maya, Steve said during the follow-up, how has your life changed since we first met? Mr. Harvey, I'm not just dancing again. I'm dancing at a level I never imagined possible. Working with world-class choreographers has pushed me to explore movement in ways I never considered before my accident. Tell us about the Netflix documentary. Dancing Forward premiered last month, and the response has been incredible, but more importantly, it's inspired other people with disabilities to pursue their artistic dreams. Maya pulled out letters from viewers. I get messages every day from people who say the documentary gave them permission to stop seeing their disabilities as limitations and start seeing them as opportunities for innovation. What's next for you? I'm opening my own adaptive dance studio in Los Angeles. We'll teach dance to people with all kinds of disabilities and show them that their bodies are perfect for art, exactly as they are. The most touching moment of the follow-up came when Maya introduced Steve to some of her students via video call. A young man with cerebral palsy who was learning contemporary dance, a woman who had lost her hearing but was choreographing pieces to vibrations, and a teenager with one arm who was developing her own style of hip-hop. Mr. Harvey, one of the students said, Maya taught us that there's no such thing as a disabled dancer, just dancers with different abilities. Steve looked at Maya with obvious pride. Maya, you didn't just rebuild your own life. You've created a movement that's changing how the world sees disability and art. You taught me something important that day, Maya replied. You showed me that my accident wasn't the end of my story. It was the beginning of a new chapter, and sometimes the new chapter is even better than what came before. The Disability Triumph episode became one of the most powerful and widely shared in Steve Harvey show history, changing perceptions about disability and artistic expression around the world. Maya's adaptive dance studio now has locations in 3 cities and has trained over 200 dancers with various disabilities. Her work has been featured at major dance festivals worldwide, and she has become a leading advocate for inclusive arts programming. Steve kept a photo from Maya's first performance on his desk. The moment when she rose onto her prosthetics and transformed her limitations into limitless artistic expression. It reminded him daily that the human spirit can triumph over any obstacle when courage meets creativity. Maya taught me that disability is not the opposite of ability. Steve often says, it's just a different way of being able. She didn't overcome her disability. She transformed it into her superpower. Today, Maya Rodriguez is recognized as one of the most innovative choreographers of her generation. She has performed with major dance companies around the world and has shown thousands of people that there are no limits to what the human spirit can achieve when we stop focusing on what we've lost and start celebrating what we can become. If this incredible story of triumph over tragedy and the power of redefining what's possible moved you, please subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. Share this video with someone who needs to know that their limitations might just be invitations to innovate. Have you ever had to find a new way to pursue your dreams? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to ring that notification bell for more amazing stories about the unstoppable power of the human spirit.